Pernell Bobby checking in with you one more time. 7 days. 7 days or less to rewire your psychology. I'm giving you some of my best tools from some of my greatest mentors, all my lifelines in my life, the people that are giving me more life. I'm now drawing and extracting the energy, the passion, the tools, the network from them, and I'm delivering it to you with the best of my ability, the most authentic energy and enthusiasm that I have. Now that you know how to use massive action with raw belief to tap into your full potential, what kills execution? What will kill your motivation? What will kill your massive action? What will destroy your beliefs? What will get you very little results? That's the question. Write that question down. I like that. I like that. This is raw. Just raw. I'm just talking to you. I'm talking that truth. Write that down. What will destroy the execution in your life? What is destroying? Because you're looking to rewire your mind, right? You're looking to rewire your psychology. So what's already destroying the behaviors that are associated with why you may or may not be executing? What's going on with that? Okay, now I'm going to give you the answer. Complexity. If you don't try to keep it stupid simple, such a classic KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it stupid simple. Classic. You heard it before, but maybe you apply it today. Maybe you apply it today. Look at and assess, where do you want to execute in your life? What do you actually want to execute? That's the next question for you. What do you want to execute? What is the number one thing you want to put attention on? And how are you being too complicated in that moment? That's just a simple complexity kills execution. You want to execute? Make it simple. You don't want to execute? Complex everything, overthink, spend too much time on all the areas that have nothing to do with what's going to get you results. And that will kill the dream. That will kill the execution. That will kill your inspirations. That'll kill the moment. Complexity. It'll kill any given moment. I promise you. Because when you... Let me give you a model. One of my tools directly from Mr. Tony Robbins himself. It makes a triangle. Does anybody know Michael Phelps, gold medalist, one of the greatest swimmers, one of the fastest of all time? No one has earned more gold medals in the Olympics than Michael Phelps. Global phenomenon. Now, what made him so great? Okay, let's get there. But 1 second. Before we do, you got a triangle. I want you to look at your tool list and check the document. Cognitive mastery. It's the first one in the triangle, top left corner. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. You wanna spend, especially if you're listening to this in your 20s and up to your mid 30s. You gotta learn. You gotta. This is where my roommate used to call it hypergrowth. He was like, "This is hypergrowth, man." He graduated before me. He was telling me, like, he's in the workplace, whatever. He's like, "Yo, I'm in hypergrowth mode," and I didn't fully understand it until I went into hypergrowth mode. And he would that's when you start learning not what your education is limiting you to, but what you want to learn. Right? You start reading a book, then you read what you want to read. You start going to workshops, then you go to workshops you want to go to, not because it was a graduation requirement or a work requirement or something that's related to something that you may not care about. Cognitive mastery. Master your cognitive mind. Bring your thoughts, bring your psychology to a point that is going to start to work for you. And it's going to be automated work. And that's going to be built through habits. And we can go through that. At any point, reach out. But that's not enough. It never has been, right? Because, listen, we go to workshops, we go learn. We learn all the time from so many different sources. But when has it ever been enough? Never. Never. Because if you don't apply that knowledge, you're not executing that knowledge. You may be complicating things in the moment. But let me bring a situation to you. Who remembers 9/11? Right? Notice I just said two numbers. 9/11. New York, the Twin Towers, they came crashing down. Who remembers the death of Martin Luther King? Who remembers the World War II? Hitler, Stalin, right? What makes you remember 9/11, but you're not able to remember 8/11? You probably know what you were doing on 9/11. I remember I was in school, and the teachers were trying to hide the news from us, and we didn't have cell phones when I was at school at this point. But the teachers were trying to hide the news from us. But you could tell, like, all of them were frantic, but we didn't really know. We weren't really conscious of that. But later on, we found out, like, wow, the Twin Towers just came down. Wow. Like, wow. Right? We remember that day, but you don't remember 9/10. You don't remember what you did on 9/13, but you remember 9/11. Emotional mastery. Listen, when you tie those cognitive practices, the things that you learn, to an actual emotion, that's when it starts to stick. And until then, it doesn't really stick. But the last is going to be physical mastery. And the mother of skill. Write this down. Mother of skill. The mother of skill is repetition. You want to hone a skill, you want to grow a skill, you want to bring your skill to a point that is going to help you succeed with mastery and just massive results, just the achievements beyond this world. Repeat that skill, repeat that skill, repeat that skill. You got Stephen Curry, basketball NBA player. He shoots that basketball over and over and over. He's like a 90+% free throw shooter, one of the best in the world. 3-point ball, one of the best in the world. He repeats that skill over and over and over. Les Brown, motivational speaker, he repeated his skill over and over and over. Tony Robbins, motivational speaker, he repeated his skills over and over and over and over. You're going to notice that a lot of your mentors, they repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over. That's what made them the master of that skill. It's the mother of the skill is repetition. Michael Phelps brought it to that example. Why did he win? Even I remember one of the last races he had, he's gassed, he kept racing, and there was one guy in front of him, and he lost by milliseconds. Why? Because that guy didn't master, he didn't repeat the skill as much as Michael Phelps did. And he, for half a second, was caught on camera looking back. Somebody that knows where they're going, they don't need to look back. They don't need to live in a retrospective perspective because they know where they're going. Michael Phelps didn't look back. He knew where he was going. And that mother of skill, that repetition of his physical practice of swimming, got him to now use